Hello viewers! Today I'm going to show you another makgeolli brewing experiment. I'm going to be brewing delicious Korean rice wine with extra Nuruk. Now Nuruk is the enzyme ingredient that converts the starch in the rice to sugar. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe. And please share this video wherever it is appropriate. So here's my normal two-stage makgeolli recipe, Iyeongju, 2 stages. This is using the minimum amount of ordinary Nuruk, which would be 90 grams for 1 kilogram of rice. So all I'm going to do today is double that so that I'm using 180 grams of Nuruk for the 1 kilogram of rice in total. Since I've brewed Iyeongju many times on this channel, I'm really going to zip through the details of the recipe. If you want to see more, please watch an earlier video of mine where I'll show you more details of what I normally do. So starting off with rice powder, I'm going to make juk, thicken that on medium heat, let it cool. As we're waiting for it to cool, mix up the Nuruk and some yeast. And after the juk, the porridge is cool, stir in the Nuruk mixture and put it in the jar. And it'll start fermenting right away. I stir it twice a day for the first 2 days. And then on day 2, I'm going to make godubap, hard steamed rice. So I have to wash the sweet rice, the chapsal, let it soak for at least 3 hours, let it drain. And I'm actually making godubap for 2 brews here, so this is a little more than the 800 grams. After I steam the rice, then you have godubap, spread it out to cool, the portion corresponding to 800 grams of sweet rice to start with, I put in the jar. Mix it in with the first stage, mix it in by hand. And now we can just watch it ferment. We don't have to stir it anymore. And since it's winter time and temperatures are cool, I'm going to let this brew for quite some time. So it softens up pretty quickly, and you can see some liquid at the bottom, but there's plenty of rice that hasn't broken down yet. So that's another reason for taking your time with cool temperature brewing. Not in a rush, going to take the time and try to get as much of the rice fermented as possible. So I let this brew for 26 days, and at that point it was pretty quiet, not hearing a lot of bubbles at all. So I figured it was done. Time to filter. Pretty easy to filter. Put it in the bottles, and I had a pretty normal amount of jjigae left over. So pouring it at the beginning, actually it's notably sweet right after bottling. There's a fair amount of bitter and milky taste at the end. But I'm going to taste this again in a week because it is going to change over time. So let it settle and let's taste it in a week. Now it's a week after bottling and I want to taste it, but first let's look at how much it settled. Quite a bit of sediment at the bottom. The color of the changju is quite dark. I think that's an effect of using more Nuruk, is that the changju is more yellow. So I'm going to mix this up and have a taste. All right, so it's not carbonated. It smells pretty sweet. It's a bit sharp tasting. As sweetness, it's pretty tangy. Yeah, it's pretty tangy and pretty sharp, strong alcohol. But otherwise, a pretty normal taste. It's my normal recipe, just more Nuruk. So I wasn't expecting a big change in flavor. Um, Aftertaste is a little bit milky. There is more Nuruk taste. So this supermarket Nuruk is pretty mild tasting. If you used a stronger tasting Nuruk, you would really get more of that Nuruk flavor, of course, and it depends whether you like that flavor, whether you'd want to do this. Also, of course, usually Nuruk is the rarest and hardest to get ingredient for making makgeolli. So usually I try to stretch it out as much as possible, use the minimum amount of Nuruk. But that's the difference here. If you have a lot of Nuruk, if you have extra Nuruk, you can do this kind of experiment, and it definitely works. Doesn't harm the brew. It's just more than necessary. I can't say that it vastly improved the brew. It probably made it a little stronger, made it a little more reliable. I did let it brew a long time. It worked, but you don't have to use that much Nuruk. So that's my conclusion. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.